Hello everyone, today I'll be making an oven for my ants. And you may be wondering, why am I doing this? Well, honestly, it's just because at my apartment, my ant setup is kind of bad. It was basically just this plastic crate with ants inside here and then ants on top, and it was very inconvenient. And it didn't hold heat that well, and it's a waste of electricity. So we're gonna make a new one. And what you might be wondering, what type of setup will I be making? Well, number one, we have a cardboard box. Number two, we have a nasty toaster oven, which is definitely a good idea. I'm just kidding, don't use a toaster oven. We make one from scratch. And to do that, we will need some stuff. So pick some stuff out, not termites. First, we have a thermostat. That will control the heating source that we have. The heating source is this little mini space heater. It will work perfectly inside of our future incubator. Next up, we have some magnetic tape. This will, you'll find out what I need this for in a second. Next up is some insulation. This will keep all the heat in and make it a very nice spot for the ants. And that, of course, will be used to tie that to the future base, which we'll see in a second. This sucker here is the shelf we're going to be using to make our future incubator. You might be wondering, why don't I just buy one? Well, it's very obvious. DIY. It's a lot cheaper. If you were to buy an incubator, you'd have to go online and buy either a really expensive incubator with lots of space, or a small incubator that's pretty cheap, but you can barely fit any ants inside of it. So that's why I'm gonna make one. And first, we're gonna take this out and we're gonna start to build this sucker. Alrighty, everyone. Here is my future incubator, and it is on the smaller side, but I don't have too many ants, and I am in an apartment. So this should work just fine for the amount of ants I have. And I'm going to quickly build this and then we'll skip, because I don't think you guys want to see me build this for like 20 minutes. And already, I'll be right back. Alrighty, everyone, as you can see, I have fully assembled the shelf. It was basically just how you normally build your average IKEA Amazon shelf. And now what we're going to do is place these magnetic strips onto the bars and the bottom so that it can hold in the heat. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is just line it up. So as you can see, I have the thing. I'm just going to go like this. And there's sticky parts, so that's how it will stick on. I don't need tape or anything like that. You put it down right here. There you go. And now I have to do it for the whole entire thing. I'm going to show a couple more and then I'll skip, because I don't want you guys to just watch me do this. It'll be pretty boring. Everyone, so it turns out I actually ran out of this metal stuff, so I had to get more. But as you can see, what I did was basically this front side and these two long poles on the other side. Honestly, it looks pretty nice, but one thing I noticed, the screws are pushing this up a little bit. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to add extra on the corners to help seal those holes. But first off, yeah, I'm gonna buy some more of this stuff and then we'll be back. Guys, I've had an epiphany. I made a whoopsie. I shouldn't have put this on the metal, because this, honestly, I could have just went like this and it would have stuck to the metal, right? And I could have put the Velcro part, or not the Velcro, the sticky part onto this, and then it would have attached it here. So now I gotta take this all off, put it on here, but at least I got the measurements right, I guess. So first I'm gonna do that. Everyone, after my epiphany, I realized I could just go like this. So the first part is done. I might have to replace the magnets because they've lost part of their adhesive from when I messed up earlier. But generally it does work, as you can see. Woo! But yeah, I'll have to fix that. Anyways, look guys, ooh. Let's not talk about the part where I ran out of this part. So I ended up taking the wheels off because they were inhibiting the insulation. But as you can see, my new insulation. Ooh! Alright everyone, here it is in all its glory. It's getting there, but not done yet. What I have to do next is top layer. It'll basically be a copy of the bottom. So I'm going to do that real quick. Finish this layer. As you can see, it's a little bit short here, but it'll work fine. You'll see what I do in a little bit. Basically, all I have to do is add this one magnet, and voila. And don't worry, we're far from done. So now we'll get on to the next step. I'll show you guys the results afterwards. I'm basically going to cut some holes here so that I can make little doors so that this stuff can actually stay on well. As you can see, I cut a couple of holes. So this is where the doors will be basically. And I'll put my hands in and out, grab the ants. And you see this foil stuff here? This is actually aluminum tape, and this will help seal the gaps and keep all that nice heat in. And it also let me and also let me cover that gap I made. Don't worry, I will add some more stuff, and now I will construct those doors. Alrighty everyone, I finished my doors. Keep in mind, I just have to be very careful when I open this. Watch. Ooh, look at that, guys. Ooh. And it closes. And look at the bottom one. Ooh, that's not the right one. That's not the right thing. Ooh. Yeah, basically it fits really well. There will basically be like a tiny gap here, but that should be fine. I'm now going to do the top part. I plan to just like cover that up basically. You'll see in a second. Alrighty everyone, I finished the top. I also went ahead and put some aluminum tape around the edges of the entire thing. You see there's some down there. But yeah, now I'm gonna test this sucker. Quick look on the inside. You can see it's all covered up. I didn't do the floor because I have carpet, so I'm gonna test to see how effective it is with no insulation on the bottom. And if it does well, I'm gonna leave it uncovered, but now we're gonna test this sucker out. Alrighty, I set up the heating source. This is the space heater. And basically I have a temperature probe right there. My heater right here. I'm gonna see if the insulation can help maintain the heat, and I'll get back to the results after. And by the way, I did set it to 89 Fahrenheit, so we'll see how it does in a little bit. Alrighty, I found that it works quite well with the space heater and the thermostat. I set the thermostat to 90 degrees for the test, and I found that the bottom will stay at 89 Fahrenheit, but the top will be at 92 Fahrenheit, which is okay, but I'll probably lower a degree so it stays at like 91, but overall it works pretty well. And I'll now put my ants inside. Alrighty everyone, I let it run for a day and I found out it does work. It maintains the heat, but because that bottom isn't there, the heat disperses more, it disperses faster than I would want it to. So what I'm gonna do is, actually I'm gonna fill in that bottom with another insulation panel. And then I'll be back once I do that. I'm basically gonna do the same thing as I did for the other one. Alrighty everyone, I finished the bottom and I did a okay job doing the tape. But as you see now, there is a floor. You can see the tape I used. It's like, I could add more, but this should work for now. And now we will test this out one more time. Alrighty guys, it's been a few days and bad news. One, the incubator works. It works a little bit too well. Because what happened, as you can see, I took the ants out, was that overnight while I was sleeping, the thermostat malfunctioned. It just looks like that, but it says 87.4 right now. But besides that, overnight this malfunctioned and it didn't cut the power to the space heater as it was supposed to. So that said 120 Fahrenheit. And 120 Fahrenheit isn't a good temperature. It cooks your ants. And I had put some ants in the incubator, and it was doing well beforehand. And so now I have some dead ant colonies. Alright, here are some dead ants. And oh, of course the predatory might survive. But besides that, you see right there is a dead Fidole Rhea queen. That was gonna be a future video, or many future videos, but sadly she has passed. She got cooked to death. All the brood got eaten in their stress. Workers got murdered. As you can see, they all tried to run away in agony. One of my honeypots also died. As you can see, they all died in agony. Queens right there, dead in all her glory. You can see even the larvae weren't spared. They like turned black, some of them. But yeah, they did not turn out too well. The heat like binded one of the workers to the plastic, which is pretty sad. Last but not least, my Pseudomyrmex Apache colony died. And it's like they all just like froze in time. Because like, as you can see, all the larvae is there. Sorry about the flash. This is like a very last minute thing. You see the queen's there. She looks like she's sleeping, and that's because she is sleeping, but forever. The workers are like all over. You see they just like perished right there. But yeah, that sucks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy a new thermostat, and I'm going to get a lower wattage heater so I can try to prevent that in the future. If there's like a malfunction, the heater should not be able to heat it up that much either way, because it won't have as much power. Alrighty everyone, I replaced the thermostat
It's a newer version of the older one that used to be here.
The other one was just really old. It was like 5 years old, which is why it probably malfunctioned.
And the incubator is working quite smoothly. It is maintaining its heat very well. And yeah, I'll show this incubator in the future once I make any further updates.
Now, what did I learn today so that you guys don't make the same mistakes? 1, make sure you have the adequate supplies so you can complete the project all at once. 2, extensively test your incubator. I probably threw my ants in there after a couple of days, but I would do it for at least a couple of weeks just to make sure that everything's fine. And number 3, make sure your equipment isn't old. As I said earlier, that thermostat was probably about 5 years old. I've had that one since I started ant keeping, which would explain a lot. This incubator guide still works, but you just have to make sure not to make the similar mistakes that I made. And already, everyone, have a great day.